What's up, sports fans? Zen Master Zaya here. We live on the WTP Sports Dudes channel. I got my man MossBurgh here. We're gonna get into some of his Florida State Seminoles and his Cincinnati Bengals. Just to recap both of their seasons today. I want to send a special shout out to no other words, Mr. Brown, aka the real WTP Sports Dude. I want to shout out to Mr. Parlay Poe. Uh, go back and check out their live stream if you haven't
Yes.
earlier. Parlay Poe and Mr. Brown got into his Texas Longhorns and his Tennessee Titans. And we can't never forget about the man with many hats, Mr. T1. You know what I mean? Shout out to T1, big homie.
Yes,
It's,
indeed. Yes,
how you
indeed.
doing today, though, Moss? You all right?
Pretty good, man. Feeling pretty good, man. Getting ready for this crazy shift, 18-hour today, man. I'm working this double. So
Woo.
other than that, man, feeling good, man. Excited to do what we do, man. And I'm excited that you got me on for this interview, man. Definitely ready to talk that talk, man. And it's good to see you. How you feeling as well? It's the first
Man,
weekend after the Natty, man.
hey man, I'm good. You know what type of activities I'm on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, don't be surprised if I call you tomorrow and ask you to hold something, man.
It's,
Be
hey,
working on that 18, man. You gonna have to let me hold.
hey, I
Let a brother
definitely
hold
got
something.
you.
You
I
feel
got
me?
you, man. I got you for
Nah,
sure.
I'm just joking though. But man, let's go ahead and kick it off, man. We're gonna start on the collegiate ranks and go ahead and tap into your Florida State Seminoles. Question one: how do you feel about how your Florida State Seminoles season played out?
Man, as a fan, it was probably one of the toughest seasons I've ever had to go through.
Mm.
Coming off of an undefeated season, I feel like minus the way we performed in the bowl game, I understood all the those things when it came to the bowl. Just the way we performed, I was unhappy. I was definitely surprised for sure, but hats off to the way the teams played. They came out and they played and they wanted to test us and see what we were about. And I guess, for me, I wasn't satisfied with the offense. Bringing in a quarterback transfer and thinking DJ would be the answer. I felt good about him. But after the first two games, I wasn't happy at all. I felt that he wasn't the guy that was going to get the job done. And I was ready to move into the next season with what we were going to do, the changes we were going to make, and things of that nature, because that's just not Florida State football.
Man, listen, bro. DJ got to be one of the biggest five-star busts I can remember at the quarterback position in recent memory. Like
Yes.
real talk, bro. He had that one stop right there at Oregon State, and he played pretty decent for them. But like outside of that, man, he had some bad years, bro.
Right. Parlay Post said it's illegal to work 18. Now I get my breaks though. I get my breaks in between. So you good. I definitely make sure I get that hour or two in between.
Man, go ahead, pinch that bag, man. We ain't gonna tell on you. Hey, but let's move forward with the next question, man. What do you think your Florida State Seminoles need to do to get back into title contend, to be a national title contender?
First, I think we did something that we haven't done in a few years. We clean house, which is something that I was looking at. Bring in some different talent, some home talent, as well as step outside of the box. We got a four-star recruit, quarterback, couple four stars, two on a receiver in, coming straight out of Florida, and the names of Tayshawn Gelsey and Javon Boggs. And they both are freshmen. And I'm looking at them to have a big impact in the coming season, as well as Kevin Sperry, who's out of Texas. We stole him from those Longhorns and WTP Sports Dudes, which I was definitely pleased about. And I think that's something we need to do first and foremost. We brought in an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, O line, safety, wide receiver, as well as a D line coach. And you're talking about Tim Harris Jr., who's a native of Miami, which is a factor. When you bring in, homegrown, product, I think, it makes things happen. Former player as well. And then you got Kevin Knight, on the defensive line. I think that's definitely going to make a difference in the way we prepare and progress and kind of get that swagger back. I don't think we've had that swagger in a few years. We started to get it back last year, but I seen it kind of when we lost our quarterback. We had that swagger, but it still wasn't the same on the offensive side in ways. And we managed to get those wins. But shout out to our defense and keeping us in that undefeated season last year. But I think that definitely bringing those coaches in, cleaning house, and those recruits we have coming in, as well as a running back. Don't forget this name, Usman Kroma. Usman Kroma,
You probably jacked that up.
four-star
We're gonna
running
have to
back.
look that up.
Yeah, like I've been watching the story on this kid, man. He's a work done type of kid to me. And I think the talent that he has, and he's about 6'2", big body, big size, to where I think this class that we have coming in with the transfer, it's not many, but I think it'll start to make a change in what's needed. Clean a house, getting a new identity, and building from that, I think is definitely going to help us for sure.
Well, before you go on to the next question, since we already getting into talking about personnel, recruits, and everything that you're excited about that's coming in, let me
Oh,
go
yeah.
ahead and ask you.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all got 38 new recruits coming in via high school recruiting and portal. 16 are coming from the portal. Do you
Yeah.
believe that y'all are bringing in enough talent this year to make a turnaround? And do you believe that Mike Norvell is building y'all's program correctly as far as in the ratio of high school recruits and portal?
I do agree with a little bit of what you say. I know you say we need to step into that. I think we need to do a little more of that. I think we need to take a playbook out of some of these coaches in the Big Ten and the SEC and do what they do when it comes to recruiting. You see what happens. You put together, conference championships, playoff appearances, possible championships. So when you doing those things and you're recruiting, I think, and I think we were speaking about this in our group text, and I told you how Day has definitely held his position, being there for these years and getting through and bringing a national championship. That's a big thing. And I think when you recruit at that high school level and you watch them and you bring them in, I think that makes a fire within that locker room, and it builds something different, and it brings a national championship. So one player I'm looking at is Micah Pettis from Ole Miss. Finally got somebody I think on a line that'll be solid, and he's a veteran and he could build those young guys we got coming in and can kind of make things change on that offensive line, because I think we need an identity there as well.
Okay, Michael Pettis. I'm gonna keep that name in mind. Uh, Offensively, man, we seen a lot of struggles this year. Was you excited about anything that's possibly returning next year? Did you see anything that encouraged you? Was there any bright spots for you?
Only only bright spot I honestly really seen was just the effort in the players that consistently played through the season. Being able to play through a season at Florida State 2-9, running back Toa played great. He plays all over the field. Lester the third. We got Cam Davis coming back. I want to see Cam Davis have a big season. He was a big talent coming in, like a 4-star, 5-star recruit. I really want to see him have a comeback season, better season than he did. And some of these freshmen we have, I know Castellano's coming back from Boston College. I don't know if that's going to be like a DJ type of situation, or is that going to be better? I'm hoping that it could be a better situation than what we had the year before. WTP Sports Dudes, he said he was not it. Leave the ACC, and y'all always have problems with the offensive line coming from Parlay Poe. And I'm hoping that getting this guy Micah Pettis from the transfer in from Ole Miss will definitely help that. But that's just my thoughts on the offensive side of the football. We definitely struggle, especially at the quarterback position. Cam Davis, I think, being able to have that running back position with Chroma, he's going to give him a tough out for it. But I think having two backs will definitely make a difference for us moving forward, especially with the wide receivers coming in as well.
Now look, I caught maybe one Florida State game. So I'm just gonna ask this straightforward, man. I didn't see nothing bright about your defense. Y'all might have to scrap all them guys, but how do you feel about the defensive side of the ball?
All I'm gonna say is Tony White is the new defensive coach, defensive coordinator, and
Where he
new
from?
identity. I didn't really get the background on Tony White, former player. I believe he has a great history and background when it comes to the football. So
He
I
an
think
NFL guy?
I think just having him in. I want to say he had a stint with the Buccaneers, if I'm not
Nah, he
mistaken.
wasn't with me.
No, I'm talking about before your time, Zan. Before
Oh,
your
okay,
time,
okay.
Zan. This before your time, baby. So I can't exactly remember. Don't get me wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but just a different identity. I think we definitely needed a whole house change in ways and what I know we have coming in. Like I said, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, and Gus Malzahn. He's definitely going to change things up. Gus Malzahn, people know who he is. Has a great pedigree of what he do, and just to change things in. And I think a blend with Tony and Gus, I don't think you can go wrong. And just having that identity and knowing that they command the utmost respect first and foremost, but getting things done on the field is next. And that's all you can ask for when you have a new identity. You know what your job is, and they not going to expect nothing less.
Now you know what I think hurt Florida State, man. I think the committee really did you guys a disservice 2 years ago. I mean, when you go undefeated, like I mean, y'all play who was on y'all schedule. I know y'all's quarterback went down. They was trying to say, okay, without the quarterback, they're not one of the four best teams. But let that be proven on the field, man. I think that did y'all a disservice in recruiting.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think
that's a big blow, man. When you go 12-0, you don't make the playoffs, man. Why as a recruit, why would I want to come there, man? That's where I think really affected the program heavily, bro. Like
yeah, I
you get
definitely
you pick up so much steam when you make it into that playoff in the recruiting trail.
yeah,
It's like that was just a blow, man.
yeah, definitely was. And Parlay Poe said Tony White, he defensive coordinator from Nebraska. Appreciate you, Parlay Poe. That's why we
Nebraska.
got
Oh,
you
okay.
here as well, man. And I think
I like him.
when just thinking about Nebraska, they're getting their offense intact now, but the defense has always been pretty good. But bringing him from Nebraska to Florida State, I think that brings a different recruit trail as well. You bringing guys from a different what you got the Midwest, you got a little bit of down south, you got a little bit of everything. So I think he'll bring that with him as well. That'll help. But I don't know. I just think it's some things that definitely has to be answered. You know, when it comes to the personnel overall and what we do on the field. And I just look at the head of it all, being Norvell.
All right, so look, we understand, man. We understand that most of you Seminoles are aligned in that y'all should have hired Deion Sanders. We got to give credit to Mike Norvell for going undefeated, in my opinion, though.
Yeah,
But this year was inexcusable. I mean, we know it's talent on that roster. To go 2-10 and fresh off of a 12-0 season is crazy work. It's diabolical.
I
That
was
leads me into asking though, do you think Mike Norvell's seat should be hot? Is it warranted? If it is hot, is it hot?
me personally. I thought his seat was hot after he lost to the quarterback that left Florida State. That was when I thought his seat got hot because at that point you really questioning yourself, as a coach, as an organization. Maybe this is the reason why the house is clean and you dealing with a whole new staff. But I feel his seat is hot. His seat is going to be hot until he get 8-9 wins and Doak Campbell, and to end the season with 10 wins. I think for me as a fan, I would rather see ACC championship, 8 or 9 wins next season to be a happy camper. I'm not satisfied with just a bowl appearance because I think a bowl appearance getting 6 wins is just that's like a C+ average. That's average. You out there giving half effort, to get the job done. It's Florida State. This is not no other school. This is a prestigious school, and we know the history of Florida State. So when you talk about Florida State football, you talk about an undefeated season. Yes, we lost our quarterback, but if you think about our defensive side of the football, we had some of the best defensive players. Two of those players are playing for the Los Angeles Rams. They just played playoff weekend. Not to mention, I think we had on that team 16, 13, 16 players that got drafted and went to the NFL. And your Buckeyes is in a position to break that record this year. Shout out to your Buckeyes and what they do. So that has shut up all the talk about Florida State. Just knowing that Ohio State will be breaking Florida State's record when it comes to getting players in this draft. But that's another talk. But I think he definitely is on a hot seat again, as we was talking about, and he got to get things going and get that swagger back in Tallahassee. He definitely do, because me as a fan, after Game 3, Game 4, I watched a little bit on my phone, and I changed, and I think that was the California game. I changed, and then I got a glimpse of the SMU game, and I was done after that. I think it was maybe SMU went on 30-something unanswered points in the second half. And I mean, as a Florida State Seminole, that's not Florida State football. You're not used to seeing some of the things you do. Parlay Post said we still number 3 in recruiting in Florida. And WTP Sports dude, so I could imagine his face. He said it's hot as heck. Man, listen, I'm up smoking.
Yeah, well, that was my next question. Expectations. You said 8 or 9 wins, an ACC title. Man, with this NIL and this portal stuff, man, teams can get turned around like tomorrow. So it ain't a lofty expectation to go from 2-10 to become a close to 10-win team. So it can be done, bro. It definitely can be done. I think the sport is better when the Seminoles is good too. So
I appreciate that. I feel the same way. Like, a lot of people who know me knows me and my Seminoles. Me and WTP Sports dudes talked about, my memory about the Seminoles. I became a fan when I was 8 years old. Like me and my dad watching Tommy Frazier, the battles they had back then. And the thing about Florida State, we may not always win national championships, but Florida State going to be in the top 10. They're going to be banging week in, week out. They're going to put up 60 and smash multiple teams throughout the season. And you're going to hear that chant. You know what it is. And I'm hearing that on Sunday and not Saturday. Something wrong with that, Zen Master Zay. So until I hear that Seminole chant on Saturdays, like they doing at Arrowhead Stadium for some odd reason, I don't know why, but I'm going to just say that for a whole nother discussion. Until that come back to Florida State on Saturday, that's what I'm waiting for. But I feel we could definitely turn around. Like I said, Kevin Sperry, I don't know, man. I got a lot of belief in this freshman class that we got coming in. And them 4 names that I named, Sperry, Usma, Cromod, Boggs, and I don't know if it's Josie or Gelsey. Just remember them names, man. I think they're going to definitely make some waves this year. And we need, I know, a big impact. And I think the way our quarterback has been, if, our portal guy coming back after a year away and nothing happened in BC, Kevin Sperry is sitting there waiting. And he just might take his spot to start the season. Kevin Sperry is really that good. So I just got high hopes for us. I would love to see an ACC championship appearance. Because if we get there, we're going to be in a playoff. And I'm going to just say that. And if we get in a playoff, we coming back what's rightfully ours. After our last time showing 33 straight, 34 straight, I feel we could get back to that.
All right, okay, I feel you. Hey, you got to show confidence in your squad, man.
I got that much confidence, man. So just know, no Buckeye fan going to bring me over. City League TV, Banner Many Hats, TY, our brother, and you as well, Zen Master Zay. I might rock a shirt or something but I'm die-hard Seminole, and it's not going to change.
Man, listen, our office is backed up with people trying to come over, bro. We're not even accepting applications no more. You never turned yours in.
I wasn't even filling it out. I wasn't even picking it up out the Dropbox.
Hey, hey, look though. Let me ask you this, bro. Uh, do you think the the ACC, is going to be a tougher conference next year?
That's honestly a good question. I've been wondering to see what it's going to be like. I think a couple teams is going to be different. SMU then came in and shook the ACC, which I didn't. I seen that coming. I didn't think SMU was going to come in and be a slouch. I felt they was going to come in and shake the room, which is a great thing. You got Virginia, which is a returning team with a lot of players. That's a team that I think can make some moves in the ACC this year. We know that they got Beck coming to Miami. We don't know what Miami is going to be like. So, when it comes to that ACC as well as Clemson, will Dabo jump in the portal? What's going on in Clemson? So, with some of those teams in the ACC, you got Virginia Tech. The way the conference has been mixed up, you got quite a few different teams as well. You got Duke as well, Pittsburgh, who had a heck of a season this past year. And shout out to Raheem Bowes from Columbus, Ohio. We looking to get you on as an interview as well, doing this thing over there in Pittsburgh with that young defense. It's definitely some talent. And the ACC, looking to make a name for themselves. So we never know. Could this be the year that
Hey, WTP Sports Dude said no.
We know
gonna be
we
tougher.
we know, but I'm as an ACC fan, being in my conference, being an FSU fan at Homer, um, I don't know. I think the ACC has some freshmen that's coming in this coming year, and you just never know. College football is something that we seen this year, man. It could get crazy, and we could see freshmen come out, ball out. We could see teams and conferences come out and ball out as well. So, with that being said, I'm optimistic myself about the ACC and what it's going to do. But as for my Seminoles, let's take it over. Let's get back to having that swagger and do what it do. Because if we on top of the ACC, I think the ACC is recognized and talked about more. Nothing against other teams, but I know that brings more push with the conference build and a lot going on as well.
Yeah, let's pivot back to your Seminoles and tone in a little bit on them. So we talked about a few. If you thought if there was any bright spots, offense, defensively, already. How do you feel about this kid that y'all are bringing in from the portal that's playing that QB position? What's his name?
Talking about Castellanos,
Castellanos. Yeah.
Thomas, TC.
What are the attributes that you think is going to bring that he's going to bring to this team to get y'all back up to the prevalent level of being a top dog in the ACC?
The one bright spot I'm looking at is the 25 games. We talk a lot about 25 games. I like him more than DJ. I will say that much. Now, you talk about a quarterback that's had a few seasons of play in the ACC. You went from Florida State, you went to BC. Maybe you wanted to play against everybody. I don't know. The nil deal, a lot of stuff, but I want to see consistency. I want to see you spinning that thing as parlay post say. I want to see that completion percentage up. And the fact that he moved his feet, he's nifty out the pocket, and he killed us with his feet this past season. And he was spinning that thing. So if you could come in and do the same thing you did against us to win, and you could put that together in a consistency on a consistent basis, I would love to see that and us moving in the right direction, because that'll also give our four-star recruit something to look to. Okay, these are things that I could do to better my game. Okay, I'm seeing an offense from this great leader and this senior. You know what I mean? So at 25 game plus, and parlay post says small like Kyler Murray, yeah, he is. And if he get out that pocket, he could definitely move them feet. And he did that on us. I think he broke for like a 40, maybe even 60-yard run. Tore us up, torched us, man. So he had, I think, over 300 all-purpose against us. I want him to come out and do that on a weekly basis, if not more, for Florida State this season. If he could do that, I think we'll definitely be a top 10 contender and playoff team. If he could come out and get 300 plus total offense a week, that would be a difference maker in Florida State. And when Florida State has a great leader and great quarterback, we see what that can do for Florida State as a team.
Okay, okay. All right. Y'all got any more questions in the chat about Florida State before we move on to the Bengals? You got anything else you want to say about your Seminoles, Moss?
And let's get to 2025, man, because there's a lot of people out there talking about us, and we just going to quietly do what we do. Norvell, I believe in you. I believe in what you're doing down there in Tallahassee. I know what I said throughout the season, but as a real live fan, I got high expectations, understanding how our last few seasons in the 10 years been with you there. Parlay Poe, watch what you say. Because just know the last time we played it wasn't good on y'all's behalf. But we could say that conversation for another day. Zen Master, you already know that's why you shook your head. You know what we did to the Wolverines.
Hey, hey, it's
Everybody
smooth.
wants some.
Hey, this
Everybody
pod.
wants some, and it might be your year. Just know that. We get in the playoff, we might be willing. It ain't no might be willing. We're gonna go through that same adrenaline rush that your Buckeyes did on the way to a natty. Mark my words in this here interview. We get to the playoff, we gonna roughhouse and do exactly what your Buckeyes did on the way to the natty, even if that's stopping a back-to-back national championship.
Okay, them big words, dog. I hope y'all ready to back it up on that field between them white lines. You know what I mean? Hey, but look, man, let's go ahead and move forward to these Bengals, man. Let's talk about these Bengals, man.
Yes,
Cincinnati Bengals, 9-8, just missed the playoffs. A tough season, man. 2 years in a row, y'all done missed the playoffs. Joe Burrow over 4,900 yards, 43 touchdowns, what, 9 interceptions, 71% completion rate. I mean, that's an MVP season. Jamar Chase, Triple Crown winner. It's only been 5 other dudes that did that. Hendrickson led the league in sacks with 17 and a half. He led the league in sacks by 3.5 sacks. It wasn't even close for real. So, I mean,
yeah.
it's gotta be a disappointing season. How you feel? How you feel about the way y'all season went down?
We can't start slow, man. We can't start slow. I was I was happy. Don't get me wrong. I was happy at the way the season went. At the end of the day, understanding how our slow starts, but the way the season ended. Because if you think about it, any loss during the last 6, 7 weeks of the season knocked us out. Any one loss, we pounded through that week in, week out. We continued to pound, and we was a hair off of a chinny chin chin. And when it comes to counting on Kansas City, I knew we was out. So at the end of the day, I was satisfied with the season. I was satisfied and feeling like if we don't start slow, we one of the top teams in the AFC.
Man,
We
you
have
satisfied with wasting an MVP caliber season by a Joe Burrow and you satisfied by missing the playoffs with a triple crown winner on your team, and then you got a dude leading the league in sacks? I don't see how you could be satisfied with that.
let me
That's
let me
that's
let me let me
wasting that's
let me
wasting talent.
let me explain the satisfaction in this. It's a tough one, but I'm a Bengals fan. I'm used to losing. I've been losing my whole life as a Bengals fan. So I'm satisfied with the way he performed because guess what? He's still in the MVP race. But anyway, he finally got him a tight end. That's why I'm satisfied because now you see what can happen. So when it comes to moving forward, expectations is even higher with or without T. Higgins. And I'm satisfied because we had a running back that got hurt. We had a rookie running back that came in and made a name for himself in the National Football League, not just as a rookie. He made himself a name for himself in the NFL. So I'm satisfied based on what he was able to finally get in this year. He had two running backs, not just Mixon. Nothing against Mixon, but Mixon couldn't carry the load by itself. As great as a running back he was, and still is to this day, and was in the playoffs with the Texans. But he got two running backs. He have a tight end. And then he has, of course, T and Chase, one on the other, one on one and one on the other. And then Higgins wasn't playing the whole season. So that's why I'm satisfied. Now, if everybody's healthy and our defense don't have key injuries, we have a stone that come from our arch rival in Baltimore that steps up and play a bigger role than what we expected. That's why I'm satisfied. I had to understand he come from Baltimore, a team we've been housing. So I don't know if we're gonna get that full effort from you. So Stone, you on watch. I need you to step up. That's why I'm satisfied. And again, I'm used to losing as a Bengals fan. But listen, this here, the jungle, we gonna roar. 25 is gonna be different with T or without T. Because at the end of the season, we're gonna sit at the top of the AFC throne and sip some tea, parlay po. And yeah, we coming for rightfully what's ours in that AFC North next year. And parlay per said a hurt secondary. I agree. Our secondary was in and out throughout the season.
Man, listen, for 2 years in a row, man, we seen y'all struggle at the beginning of the season. Is there what's the ways we can remedy this issue that we have? Is it a personnel? Is it coaching? What do you where do your nose lead you with these problems that y'all been having? Because this is 2 years in a row, man. Y'all done started slow. Like I don't know. Y'all lost to the Patriots the first game of the season.
Yeah,
Like that's unacceptable. So what's the ways we can remedy this?
I think if if you really think and me looking at the season, I know Lou is Lou. Lou, shout out to Lou. Great man, great defensive coordinator. But I'm glad we getting Golden coming in. Young coordinator, a little hungrier mindset, maybe nothing against Lou, but our defense. I think our defense at time plagued us, our secondary. And when you have those issues, your offense can score as many points, but your defense had to get key stops. That started to happen as we seen towards this run that we made to keep us a Kansas City win out of the playoffs. That's why I'm satisfied. Again, it comes back to being satisfied in a lot of different ways because we played without T. Higgins. We had a hurt secondary, as Parlay Post said. Hill from Michigan, who I love, one of Parlay Post guys, we dibble and dabble in that Michigan secondary. Great. But he couldn't play. And this was his year to be in his own position, his own element, back to how he was at Michigan doing what he do best. So when you have a secondary that's hurt at times, and then you had Taylor Britt, him and Taylor Britt is, I think that's probably one of the best young 1-2 corners you could get if they're 100% together in the NFL. I don't care what nobody say. Hill and Taylor Britt, 100% healthy. I think that's as good as it's going to get. So when you think about those things, again, I'm satisfied. So bringing in, I think, a piece to help Hendrickson. Hendrickson played like an animal. And like you said, 3.5 sacks above the leader. I mean, the next closest. I
Yeah,
mean,
that was my next question too. So you said the defense plagued y'all. So what are the needs offensively and defensively that can get you guys back to that AFC championship and possibly a Super Bowl?
I say the crazy thing with this, and a lot of people might say, man, you crazy, man. What is your thoughts on this? I think we need to get some help instantly. I think when Hendrickson go and have the season he had, man, if you don't find that man some help at the linebacker position or the defensive end position to help him rush that quarterback, I think we then got to go look up top because on the other end of the ball, on the offensive side, why we not paying these weapons to go do what they do? We got a triple crown winner. Word on the street, 100 million guaranteed is the number. But let's go get T. Higgins some of that money too. Let's find a way to keep these guys together in the build to keep something that could be better than what we can even see right now. That's just my thoughts, but I think we need a pass rusher, something in that safety position, or a linebacker, and I'm talking instant. Let's go in that free agent, spend that money. If we letting T go, okay, let's take some of that money and go get some. Let's spend some of that money and go bring in the Hawks, whether it's to help Hendrickson at that end position, bringing in a linebacker that could be fierce, or a safety that could literally shut down the side of the field. Because we see if you have a safety in the corner, what that could do to the defensive side of the ball. And then we see if you have two pass rushers or a pass rusher with a linebacker, what that could do. So I think we need to make those things happen ASAP. We need to know what's going on with T and get Jamar signed instantly. And that's why I say I'm satisfied. This is Cincinnati Bengals football. We know what happens with the organization. I've been watching it my whole life. We wait to spend the money and we deal with situations like this.
Listen, man, I ain't no Bengal fan. I definitely root for Joe Burrow, though. You know, we still
Oh,
love him here in Ohio. So
man, I love Burrow, man.
I
That's
don't,
man.
I don't really necessarily think y'all need to re-sign Higgins. I think y'all need to have a great draft more than anything. So I mean, with that being said, with the 19th pick, um, do y'all go offense or do y'all go defense?
This the crazy thing with you saying that and getting rid of T Higgins. Me personally, T, go get your bread, bro. Go get that money on. Go get that bread and be that number one target. I think it's time for T Higgins, man. He's just a great talent. He deserves it. And I don't think Jamar Chase will be upset. They have the bet. They both have the same agent, so they both looking to get paid. That's how I'm looking at that situation. And we got Usava and Burton. If they catch the ball, I think that'll take care of itself. But bringing Golden in on the defensive side of the ball as a coordinator, I actually think we go defense. I've been speaking Xavier Watts. You know, Cincinnati is good for getting the Notre Dame defensive player, and then we bring in a Notre Dame defensive coordinator. Let's go ahead and get Morrison. Let's go ahead and get Jack. Let's go ahead and get Watts. Let's bring one of them into Cincinnati. So I say we go defensive side of the ball. We got to go defensive. We got to find that identity to help that offense continue to be successful. That's just my thoughts. Jenkins from Michigan is looking good. I think Walker from Florida is looking good, coming on strong. But they were just having those injuries. I think having them healthy coming in, but we looking at secondary to start maybe at the linebacker position. I think we'll be good defensively to start.
Man, listen. Upon getting prepared for this stream yesterday, I came across. I just went down the schedule, man. And seven of y'all's eight losses was by a touchdown or less.
Yeah.
You think these games were games that y'all lost, or that the other teams just won?
I honestly would say I give the only game I would say the one game that was tough, I would say we lost that game. Because the Baltimore game I feel we could have won. Pittsburgh game, yeah, we lost that one flat out. Um, Kansas City game we could have won. And then the other game I feel we lost was a Washington game. That was the toughest one for me because he dropped two balls right in the basket. And if you think about it, Washington, Philly, Kansas City, Buffalo. We beat up on Buffalo, I believe. We lost to Kansas City, which we should have won. Philly beat us handily. And then Washington got us. Outside of that, I feel those losses, the points it was and the way it was on the defense, that really took a toll us on them points. But other than that, it was just tough having them losses. Those were tough losses. I was cringing watching them. But the one I hated most was the Washington. I don't know. That game was the one I feel we just lost. Other games we should have won. But the defense. That's why I feel defense is what we have to get right. got to get right on the defensive side of the ball because if we make one stop in the Kansas City game on third down, we win that game. Same thing with the Baltimore game and the same thing with the Pittsburgh game. Because if you notice, all that time during the season, during those losses, Joe Burrow had the ball and he took us down to score. Our defense did not help us get in the win. And Trey Hendrickson would bust his ass and doing everything he could. And once again, satisfied. This is the Cincinnati Bengals we talking about. I love them, but that's why I say satisfied. At the end of the day, 9-8, trying to get into the playoffs with Kansas City, got to get a win to do it. We knew that wasn't going to happen.
Hey, sports fans, if you tuned in, please make sure you hit that like button. It don't hurt you to hit it. I mean, it only
Appreciate
take a
you.
second. Let's keep it moving forward, though, Moss. I know how Parlay Poe feel about it. We seen on his stream last week. He spoke about this as well, and I'm gonna ask you the same question. Do you think you are in the toughest division in football?
Yeah, why not, man? Why people think any other division tougher than the North, man? You let me know what division out there is tougher than the North. Be honest with me, Zen Masters.
Nah, that division is rough, bro.
That North is different, man. When you come to the North, they say it's a steel city in Pittsburgh, but we did get the last live parlay po. Like you've been tripping off your Michigan Wolverines, getting them wins against them Bucks. Right now, we hold them pants. And you
I'm
know y'all took that spanking when it
so
comes to
look
that
though.
time.
This how I feel though. Like year in and year out, that's like the toughest division.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
think it was the toughest division this year though.
I would say with what Cleveland this year, I think made it not even a distraction. It was more Cleveland not having the necessary pieces to really compete in a way of having the injuries. I would say if Cleveland was healthy, it would have been a different season. And a lot of people still even got their best output from Cleveland and almost lost games against Cleveland, Philly, Washington, and some of those games turned into blowouts, of course, but they turned around. And to speak on that WTP Sports News, Detroit Lions are not in the Super Bowl. Matter of fact, not in the NFC Championship. Minnesota got plucked. They talking about Darnold being gone. Green Bay, I love you, Caleb. You got a new coach, so we're gonna keep on talking about this AFC North where it really goes down.
Yeah, and that WTP Sports dude said, "What about Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay, and
Let me.
Chicago?"
Which one of
That's
them?
that NFC South, and I think that was the best division in football this year. But year in and year out,
I
I think it's
respect
the
that
NFC
division this
North.
year. This year, that division was tough.
Yeah,
But
that division was crazy this year.
I'm trying to think the last team that got a championship in that division, I think, was Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers was balling. But I'm
You
gonna say that
crazy.
for another day. But you know what I'm saying? But we done made a couple appearances, got some crowns, you know what I mean? All that. But they didn't got rid of coaches in Detroit just to say that Minnesota, I think we're gonna stay on the north. But just having Cleveland, appreciate that as well, WTP Sports News. It's fun. And I gotta get ready to go to work. I might have to Uber today. But other than that, it's just been Cleveland not having healthy players. I mean, you got great corner out of the Ohio State University still holding it down. You know, we know what Miles Garrett does at the defensive end position, man. He shuts down the field, man. I mean, amazing talent. And Jameis Winston still tried to will that team. And with the talent that he had, Jared Judy looked good. We've seen glimpses of players in Cleveland that, you know, having pieces, you know, just imagine what they're going to look like this coming year. We don't know what Cleveland's going to be like, but we know they're going to have Miles Garrett and they're going to have Ward. So we know that their defense is going to be stout. So who knows what they bring in and what it's going to be. It's going to amplify the division once again. You know, we already seen what Derrick Henry did with his presence, and Pittsburgh is only going to get better. Burrow is coming back for what's rightfully his, and that's the North. That's all I'm going to say.
Man,
Because since he
Cleveland,
came in the NFL, quiet as kept, he do own the AFC North.
Cleveland is a quarterback away, man, and they've been like that for some years now.
Yeah.
Man, listen though.
What they gonna do this year with that draft pick, man? Woo,
Facts.
it could get scary because if Tennessee WTP Sports dudes, why you talking? Y'all don't get Cam and he slide down to Cleveland. The North is gonna be tough. Look, he said, stop it. Y'all better get Cam. Y'all better get Cam Ward. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I
I
got one
like the
more
AFC
question
North.
for you, and if the chat ain't got nothing else, we can wrap it up, man. I know you gotta get to work. What are your expectations for next year? Yeah, wins and losses. Like, what do you see your Bengals doing next year?
I'm gonna just say a modest 10, man. I think I expected my expectations was 13 this year. 13 wins was my expectations this past season.
So you got a 10-7 season next year.
I'm gonna say 11-6. I'm gonna say
11.
11-6 is modest, knowing that the possibilities of T Higgins not being there. But still, I think that opens it up for a lot more. He got a tight end, and when you have a tight end, we know what that does for you. And I think Usiva and Burton will definitely come out and have a much better year. I think having T Higgins there kind of keeps them from being a self in ways. I think we all understand what that means and know what that could be like sometimes. And that's why I say T Higgins, go get your money, go be the man. All respect, man. And I will definitely get a T Higgins jersey if you leave Cincinnati, wherever you go. I love T Higgins that much. That's one of my guys, forever Cincinnati type of player for me. Um, and like WTP Sports dudes, he said 11-6. That's just my thoughts, man. 11-6. And that's with T Higgins out. With T Higgins, that means if we got T Higgins, we don't shore up the defense. I think so. I still say 11-6, even with T Higgins. I'm,
Well, I
I'm just
mean,
being honest, man.
this why I say y'all just need to draft well because
Yeah,
I think this is a very healthy draft for receivers. You could find a guy in the third round. I mean,
yeah.
he's not going to be T. Higgins, but you got Jamar Chase. He's going to
But you
command
got the
double
future.
teams.
Yeah, you definitely
So
got some future. Yeah,
y'all just got to hit on y'all draft picks. You already spoke on y'all's first pick that y'all need to go defense.
yeah,
I think you could find a receiver, like I said, in the third round. You can go defense your first two rounds and get you a DB and something else to help out your front seven because, as we know, this draft is plentiful on defensive ends and edge rushers
exactly.
too. So
Yeah, yeah,
and linebackers usually don't even go in the first round. So you're gonna always have them guys in the second, third, fourth round. Like Cody Simon, for instance. Kobe
right.
Simon might have a fourth round draft grade, but we seen what that boy can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I think you guys just got to hit on your draft. Y'all just got drafting is like a skill. You have to
right.
really have a good scout team because if you miss on some draft picks, man, it's hard to just sign your whole team from free agency. You got to have a good scouting department.
Yeah. I like the when it comes to the offensive line, I think eventually, because Cincinnati always like to pluck off the offensive line. I noticed they definitely been getting defense, but I think we step in and go to that secondary with the safety and linebacker position. And I got my fingers crossed. I've been looking at this receiver, man, since he's been a freshman. He didn't play for Arizona State. That Jordan kid. If he comes out early, I got my fingers crossed, man, that he could be a player that comes to Cincinnati some kind of way. I don't know what it is. I just hope that some kind of way, and we never know what this T. Higgins situation could bring, into play if we get
Man,
some kind of elite receiver down the road. But I like the kid out of Notre Dame. I like that safety coming to us, or Jack putting the hammer down at that linebacker position for us. And on a shocking note, um, one of the Philadelphia Eagles players, I can't remember what position it is. We got Hendrickson from Philly, and we be having a thing for getting some of those players from Philly. I I had to text you because I forgot to let digest that. It's a player from Philly I've been having interest in. We might get in the offseason in free agency, and he'll bring that type of help like Hendrickson did. But I think it might be Garner Johnson. I think it might be Garner Johnson from Philly. So I think that'll be
the
something that
corner, the
for us
cornerback,
the
yeah.
cornerback position, and we've been hurt at the corner, and that'll get Dax Hill. that availability to really play that safety, and just think that could open up our draft to really dibble and dabble to go safety, get a hybrid linebacker to go safety linebacker like we did with Duke Way from Notre Dame years ago. And our defense in that secondary, that was when Dalton was there. It started to take a different, approach. And I really liked our secondary then. It was one of the tops. So, I just want our secondary to get back to being ball hawks, turning that ball over. And for Florida State, I just want us to get back to having that swagger. I know we can have it. I know it's there. I think with the coaching shift, I think that's a thumbs up on everything moving forward. And we got to get some of these nails going. I don't see us on the top 20 nil list. I think that's something that has to happen too. We got to start using some of this, access that we have and bringing in something we need, and getting that swagger back. So I'll say just like WTP Sports Dude said, 11-6 Cincy, 8-5. I mean 8-4, 7-5 Florida State. I won't be surprised if we 9 or above. I'm gonna say I won't be surprised clearly for Florida State, and that means those names that I talked to you about definitely having a big part in that freshman class and playing this year for Florida State, having a 9-win season and the success of some of those freshmen and transfers.
All right, you got anything else you want to say, bro?
No, man, I definitely, man, I appreciate it, man. I'm not even worried about getting to work. I'm an Uber today, man. I appreciate the time, that you took out your day, man, to have me on, man. This was a great interview, man. I didn't realize that, it was that much that we was going, really tap in, and I knew about when it come to it. I did my homework, man, and I appreciate you. There we go, Parlay Po, man. Go Blue. We coming. We coming after y'all. Go Blue. Just remember this, man. Mark this interview, Zen Master. Florida State, we coming for Michigan, we coming for Texas. And if we get into a position this coming year where we got to go through that trail that the Ohio State University went through, and if we got to keep them from back to back, we on one. We want all the smoke. And I ain't talking Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson.
Bro, you are funny, dog.
Parlay Po, man. We coming. You saying Steelers Nation. Hold on. Jam Master Zay, who got that last win of the season? Didn't they have their peoples in too? Wasn't Pickens playing?
Man. Y'all funny, man.
Parlay Po, man. I'm going to say who they, man. Because I can do that because we did get y'all. But nah, man, I appreciate you, Zen Master, man. And like I said, great interview, man. I'm going to just tune into what I do, man, with the work and knock out the rest of the day, man. For all y'all out there, man, if y'all need a good meal, man, I'm going to be at the spot today cooking up some great food. So you can find me. If y'all want to know, like, subscribe, we'll tell y'all where we at with the food cooking, all that good stuff, man.
Man, please, if you tuned in, and even if you come in after this stream is over, please just like, comment. We love all feedback. Subscribe to the channel. You can go ahead and check out Level Up Sports 10's channel too. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Man, this dude down here talking about the Titans and hook 'em, man. Come on, man. Hey, hey, but it don't take nothing, man. Just to hit that like button and turn that notification bell on if you want to tune into our content that we are putting out on this channel. So please just hit that like button. Shout out to Parlay Po. Anybody else in the chat? Shout out to WTP Sports Dudes, T1, the man of many hats, Level Up Sports 10, Zen Master Zed. Go like and subscribe to the channel. Hey, we got more content. Be tuned in.
Yes,
the next couple days, we're going to bring y'all that Buckeye and them Tampa Bay Buccaneers talk too. So make sure y'all be tuned in for that one because I know that's the one y'all really waiting for.
Oh, yeah. Stay tuned for that. That's going to happen Sunday. We got that coming for y'all tomorrow. We might surprise y'all, hit y'all with a late night. It just stay tuned in, man, and locked in, man. Appreciate y'all.
That's why that bell is important.
Put that bell on. Y'all hear Zen Master Zay. That's our young one in here, man. And we appreciate you, Zen, for all your knowledge, all your expertise, and what you bring to the chat into the podcast and just every day you in here. We
And
appreciate
hey, listen, I love the guys. I just bring my little wild side to it. You know what I mean? That's
it.
all.
Ain't nothing like it, man. Ain't nothing
It's a
like
little healthy to have a little something from every which direction, though. You know.
it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, definitely. And as we always say, man, Zen Master, man, you gonna tell the guys or you want me to tell you? It's your show. It's your show today, man.
Man, go ahead. You got it.
Hey, man, listen, man. Y'all know how we do, man. WTP Sports Dudes, Parlay Poe, Zen Master Zay, Man of Many Hats, City League, T1, the whole gang, everybody that was tuned in, liking and subscribing, keep the bell on. And like I said, man, without y'all, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. We're going to keep coming to y'all, giving y'all content. And just know, the season is about to switch over. It's going into the NBA, NCAA. We're going to hit y'all with the women's basketball. Hope y'all watched that South Carolina LSU game yesterday because we got so much talk, man. We just be so happy and excited, man. There's just so much coming, but we appreciate y'all tuned in, liking, subscribing, bells on, and as we always do, Zen Master, man.
Peace.
Peace. Love.